Hello, we are the Eliminators,
I am Tysugan.
and I'm SteamPunkYGO. And the topic for today's podcast: Chaos Ruler, the chaotic magical dragon. How good is he? Answer: very good. But
I mean,
how
they knew
is
that.
but how easy is he to make?
I mean, you got your Rocket Tracer, and you got your Shiranui Solitaire, and you got your other one card sort of men, but none of them are really particularly searchable or lock you into things that you would rather not be locked into. Um, I think the best one is probably like either the Shiranui one because it's just straight up one card, or Rocket Tracer in that you have quick launch as another means to
All right,
that.
all right. So let's talk about that. You said the Shiranui Solitaire. That's a really classic way of going for Chaos Ruler. You send your Mizuki with the Unizombie, you get off of Solitaire, bring back to Solitaire, and you make the Chaos Ruler milling 5 cards and getting something spicy to your hand. The problem being is that Unizombie locks you into zombies, only able to attack for the turn, and unless you have Zombie World, you can't really kill them.
Yeah,
Now, this is effective turn 1 because you don't care, but it gets progressively worse as the game goes on if you're not playing Zombie World. Now, would you be playing Zombie World in a deck with Unizombie? Sure, but I want to make Chaos Ruler in other decks.
yeah, that's really the biggest problem. Well, one of the two big problems with Solitaire. The other problem being that, as previously mentioned, it's not really able to be tutored very effectively. It's either draw Solitaire and do your combo, or sit there and cry that you can't.
And Solitaire's 3 cards, and I'm guessing you're playing a 40 card deck and drawing a 3 of consistently, like Solitaire, and not the Unizombie, because with 3 Solitaire, you're only playing 2 or 3 Unizombie, and Unizombie does legit stone cold nothing by himself.
Yeah. If you're playing a 40 card deck, assuming none of the upstart goblin draw card shenanigans that muddy up the opening hand math, you're looking at something like a 35% chance or so to open at least one solitaire, which, I mean, that's not bad, but it's also not great whenever you realize that it means in your standard match best of 3 you only have a chance of seeing it one out of those 3 games, or one out of every match you play.
And can we also talk about how much of a brick Mizuki actually is? You never want to normal summon this guy. You'd rather summon his brother Gozuki, and that's not even a 1 card Chaos Ruler. He's just I send a zombie to the graveyard.
Hey man, lay off Mizuki. I like him. He's a good one.
I like Mizuki too, but I don't like normal summoning him.
That's a fair point. And so then you look at the other problem with Rocket Tracer, the other popular one, and
Well, Rocket Tracer isn't really a 1 card Chaos Ruler, self-contained.
no, you have to be able to pop a card you control, which
And it has to be
isn't.
a face-up card.
Yeah, please stop reminding me of that. I have made that mistake too many times, and I just don't want to talk about it. But what I do want to talk about is that everyone loves hand traps, and in a format where opening a lot of hand traps is typically really important, having to burn a card in your hand is middling to be able to get your combo off. Now, in certain decks like Dragon Ruler, not Dragon Ruler. Why do I'm literally the worst. Dragon Link. They don't really care. Like, you can pop spent boot sector launches. You can pop spent ravines. All that fun stuff that everyone loves. Dragon is another one that you can pop. But in a deck that just wants to summon Chaos Ruler just because everyone loves Chaos Ruler, there's a good chance you actually don't have just a free card to destroy that Dragon Link does have.
So, and that's just a benefit from Tracer's type, and I guess Chaos Ruler's type and attribute, because he is both Dragon and Dark, so you could effectively summon him under Tracer's restrictions. And of course, Dragon Link gives you access to a ton of extenders like World Legacy Guard Dragon, Boot Sector Launch, Quick Launch, and stuff like that. And you can also make Chaos Ruler with Rocket Synchron and Absorado Dragon, who can search you a Tracer and stuff like that. But that's just Dragon Link. And Dragon Link does well on its own, making one Chaos Ruler and not really caring about what they're milling. They just want that free extra card. I think it's all about the selection. It's almost like drawing 5 cards, summoning a Chaos Ruler in Dragon Link, because you're going to be milling plenty of like things that don't do anything, like Black Metal Dragons and Phantasmes.
Well, that's clearly the advantage of Chaos Ruler, is I'm able to mill up to 5 cards, usually 4, and pick one, and it's super great graveyard setup in a world where you have basically every deck under the sun playing some form or another with their graveyard. Like, you have Eldritch that loves their graveyard loaded. You have Dragon Link that will do anything it wants to regardless. You have Tri-Brigade, which you're never going to play Chaos Ruler in Tri-Brigade, but Tri-Brigade does love having its graveyard set up. In the past years, you had stuff like Orchest that also loved to have cards in the graveyard. Sky Striker that loved, for better or worse, having all the spells in the graveyard. And again, not all of these are things that you're going to play Chaos Ruler in, but it's a clear example or a clear trend that shows the direction that the game's currently in that the graveyard is the second hand, and that's just how it is. I'm trying to think of currently other meta decks at the moment that don't really care about the graveyard and thus actually don't do anything with it, and the only one I can really think of, and it's not even a great example, would be like VW, but VW does. Virtual World loves the graveyard too, just not as much as other decks. The same could be said for Drytron. Drytron fucking loves its graveyard. It's second hand. I have all my great Drytrons in the graveyard. Let me tribute off a man and just keep going. It's so good. So, ignoring my rant that everyone should already know, the ability to throw Chaos Ruler in any deck is definitely a good one, but there's not a super good way to do it, as we've discussed. It's either Solitaire, which is effectively a 1 in 3 chance of drawing it. You have Rocket Tracer, which isn't good for a myriad of reasons, but the biggest being that it locks you into darks, and decks like Eldritch really not that.
So Rocket Tracer is also a part of Dragon Link, as we explained, but Dragon Link is currently evolving with the release of Remus and the new Dragoonity support like Legitus. They're going to be shying away from Chaos Roar, I believe, because Remus pretty much lets you do whatever you want in a dragon deck, provided you play things like Ravine, which you are already playing. And if you can play Gaedierg and just tutor things you want to throw in the graveyard and just extend that way, and that doesn't lock you into your extra deck at all. And you could make Chaos Ruler that way, but I really don't know why you'd want to, as opposed to just comboing up that way.
Yeah, Dragon Link and all the dragon toolboxes that it's getting is quite I don't want to say frustrating, but as a Drytron player, it is quite frustrating because they hurt my deck and they hurt Adamancipator before and all this stuff, and yet Dragon Link is still a deck that exists, and I'm sure this is something that everyone has thought multiple times. But I don't want to really think about Dragon Link too much more, if I'm allowed to be honest.
Well, okay, let's go to more ways to getting to that Chaos Ruler. So Tracer has like 6 different ways: Quick Launch and Tracer itself, plus an additional card that you need to pop. So now we're going to 8 ways to be able to go into your 1 card Chaos Ruler. And at the cost of only being able to summon synchro monsters from the extra deck, you could, add 3 more ways to that 5 ways to make it 8 ways. And I'm talking about the Assault Mode support cards, namely Psy Reflector and Assault Sentinel.
I love how it still has the Japanese name for it on Edo Pro. Really, really bringing home the updates there. Mr. Assault Sentinel. I mean, the Sniper. I mean, Sentinel. I mean...
we don't know what he is.
But
we do know what he does. You can Lone Fire Blossom him off to get a monster from your deck or hand and special summon it that lists Assault Mode Activate. And, of course, it's going to be your Psy Reflector. Now, Psy Reflector searches the Assault Beast, who discards himself to add Assault Mode Activate. And at this point, you can use Psy Reflector's effect to reveal that Assault Mode Activate, to summon the Assault Beast from your graveyard and making it level 7. So that makes the instant Chaos Ruler. The problem with this line, and of course you can play Fire Formation Tenki to search Assault Sentinel, Sniper, whatever you want to call it, because it's a Beast Warrior, or you can search Assault Beast. And you can also play Emergency Teleport to get the Psy Reflector. The problem with these cards are that Sniper or Sentinel locks you into synchros.
I would argue there's more than just those problems. Assault Sentinel is really good at tutoring your Psy Reflector until you draw multiples and you're just sort of sitting there with cards that really don't do a whole lot for you. In the same vein, drawing your Assault Beast is never fun. You can still do the full combo, but it's a lot less free, which is something that won't come up like 90% of the time, but I'm that super unlucky person that will have it come up on him, so I feel the need to point it out.
So it is more wanted to play just the 3 Psy Reflectors, the 1-for-1 to grab it, and the Teleport to grab it, and the 1 Assault Beast with the 1 Assault Mode Activate. And that puts your deck at a less percentage to make your 1-card Chaos Ruler.
And as previously said, the synchro limitation is...
from Assault Sentinel is a very big downside to his overall want to include, even if you can search him through multiple means.
Yeah, so then you can be like, oh, well, then I'll just play Psy Reflector, and that's fine, but then you're running into the problem of you can run 3 Psy Reflectors and E-Tele. So 4 ways to get to it.
1-for-1 as well.
1-for-1 as well, thank you. So 5 ways to it that don't lock you into any sort of extra deck lock, which isn't bad, but it is still wanting.
It's only 2 cards more than the Shiranui combo, and one of them requires an extra card, so it's not a 1-card Chaos Ruler in that instance.
Yeah.
And we can talk about the fragility of 1-for-1. If it gets hand trapped like Ash Blossom, it would be just a 2-for-1 trade in your opponent's favor, and that always feels bad.
Well, and that's another thing that's worth mentioning is if Assault Sentinel gets ashed, you've burned your normal summon, and you don't have anything to show for it.
So when you do have something to show for it, what do you want to mill in this deck? I say nothing.
Well, ideally you wouldn't be playing Psy Reflector Turbo at a YCS and be like, this is my deck. It makes Chaos Ruler. It's like, okay, what are you trying to get? And you just sort of sit there and
Psy Reflector?
Yeah, like eventually you have to want to get to a place. So as previously mentioned, let's take Eldritch for example, super popular at the moment. The path that you're getting to is either A, an Eldritch in your hand, or B, a million golden boy things in the graveyard.
Now, would you play Eldritch Spell and Traps in the Assault Mode deck? Probably not.
I mean, you could, but
But
I would question a lot about your life decisions.
Maybe if you were just playing the Psy Reflector package, but at that point you're not gonna. You're probably playing like the Magic, the Chaos Ruler version that played like Psy Reflector and Rocket Tracer, and like then you're just playing more cards than you need to get to Chaos Dragon.
And it's worth mentioning that the Psy Reflector package is the best it could be in Eldritch because the absolutely worthless Assault Mode Activate actually does something there. Becomes fodder for Eldritch, which is something. It is technically something. So, yeah, that in any other deck that you'd want to make Chaos Ruler, Assault Mode Activate does literally nothing. And if you're locked into Synchro Summons, you can't even pitch it for like a Nightmare Unicorn or Nightmare Phoenix until your next turn.
Well, I mean, you could forego the Chaos Ruler and make Nightmare Phoenix that way, but I don't know why you'd want to.
I'm gonna question a lot of your decisions if you do that.
And that build of Eldritch has proved to be not as powerful as like the grindier versions of Eldritch. The ones that can just like not throw a ton of traps into the graveyard, because if you throw a ton of them into the graveyard, your opponent will just count the traps up, and you're
burning a lot of resources that Eldritch likes to have, and so I don't know. It's something.
And you'll also be milling a bunch of unwanted cards like Tracers, Quick Launches, Psy Reflectors, and other things that you probably don't want to mill. Even though, like, you'd want to mill them in any other circumstance. You'd probably want to mill Tracers or something in any other circumstance, but...
Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, because it needs to be said, and I've been looking at it for the past 20 minutes or however long we've been going. Please remove Jiaotu from our list of one card. Please.
Well, you see,
no.
When I was
just no.
Let me make a case for Jiaotu. So
the case for Jiaotu is this. I normal summon Jiaotu. Pitch 2 cards out of my hand.
You have to pitch 2 Yang cards.
Opponent activates Impermanence. Congrats, that Imperm was a 2-for-1. The opponent activates Effect Failure. Congrats, that Effect Failure was a 2-for-1. Opponent activates Ash Blossom. Congratulations, Ash Blossom was a 2-for-1. On top of the fact that you're playing Yang Zings. No self-respecting deck in 2021 is going to be playing Yang Zings.
So I agree with you. But if you remember, the Yang Zings tack on additional effects when they're used for Synchro monsters. So, like, you can summon both of these guys off Jiaotu and make Chaos Ruler with them.
Okay, but here's the thing, and this is the important thing. Neither of those two additional effects really do anything in this format. I'm unaffected by spells. Woo! And can't be control of them can't switch. Wow. Maybe last format where Cyber Angel Natasha was running around, could you maybe make that work? But no. Just no.
Yeah, Jiaotu would have never gotten Herald of the Orange Light.
No, just get it out of here.
But
get it out
I mean, okay. So think of it this way: you can't tactical talents it either way.
Look, man, if I'm gonna be
He
honest
just looks
with you,
cool, okay?
Look, man, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna play. If I'm playing Jiaotu, I'm gonna be playing Jiaotu, discarding 2 cards, summoning the level 6/1 and the level 1/1, going into Chaos Ruler, and then going into Hot Red Abyss. I'm not going to be sitting on a can't be stolen and spell immune Chaos Ruler. I'm sorry, I'm just not.
Well,
and even then, I'm not going to be playing Yang Zings in the year of our Lord 2021.
I mean, you could absolutely search Path of Zephyrianu, right? And then, like, maybe draw 3 cards eventually when you get a 3rd Yang Zing in the graveyard? Or draw 2 cards?
No, you can't, because Jiaotu doesn't do that. Not Jiaotu. Zephyrianu doesn't do that. Zephyrianu is only on Pendulum Summon or when he's destroyed. So neither of those trigger. Is bad idea. Jiaotu is a bad idea. This is coming from someone who played Jiaotu in the past in both Yang Zings and in Zephyra. It is a bad idea. Don't do it. Please.
Okay,
please,
maybe Jiaotu isn't the best way to get to Chaos Ruler.
Okay, funny jokes aside, let's talk about the thing that we have suspiciously been actually avoiding the whole time.
So, the new way to get to Chaos Ruler, with the release of the new Sherry LeBlanc support.
Here, let me find the actual name of the set so that people who don't watch the anime actually know what you're talking about.
Duelist of the Wind?
No, that's some of them, but not all of them.
That's not any of these. That's not any of these cards.
Yeah, no. These cards come out in Animation Chronicle 2021. Whatever that means.
Well, it's a chronicle of the animation because I think one of these cards were used in the anime.
They all were.
Oh.
But that's not the point.
Moving on.
The point is that it's not
in the
Duelist of the Wind.
Yeah, or whatever the legendary duelist set is that contains the new wind cards.
Yep.
But let's talk about our getting there. So our starter is Noble Knight's Shield Bearer. This card is fantastic. You can banish him from your hand to add a level 6 or lower wind beast monster from your deck to your hand.
That means I can search Crystal Beast, Sapphire, Pegasus, right?
Yes. I think he's a beast. Is he a wing beast?
No, he's absolutely a beast.
Oh,
but I'm also going to say that that's not what we want to do here. We want to search...
We want to make Chaos Ruler, so how are we going to do that? We search...
Horse of the Floral Knights. The other man with the plan.
So this horse is a level 3 wind beast monster, so you can absolutely search it. Of course, they were released together, so of course you could search them. Search it off of the other one. So when it's normal summon, you can add a light Noble Knight monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, so you can only search once. If you activate double summon, you can't summon another one and search another Noble Knight, as good as that may seem. Its other effect is that you can use it as a polymerization and fuse it with another monster for a fusion monster. So
the third...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you can go ahead.
So what do we search with this to enable that second effect? So we search Noble Knight's Spearholder. He's a level 2, and his effect is doesn't matter. When it's normal summoned or special summoned, you can target a level 8 or lower monster on the field, treat it as Floor Synchron, and treat it as a tuner. Adding an equip spell from your deck to your hand doesn't matter. So when we normal or special summon him, are we playing double summon to make a level 5 synchro? No. We're going to be using it as fusion material with the horse to make Centaur Mina.
And Centaur Mina basically can summon right back the Noble Knight Spearholder, triggering his effect and allowing you to make either the spear holder himself or Centaur Mina a tuner.
Now,
6 plus 2 is 8, and congrats, we've reached Chaos Ruler.
Now, note that neither Spearholder or Amina are a tuner, so you're going to have to activate the effect.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't search something else. It's got to be Spearholder. But it's not the end of the world, I suppose. Important to note as well, Centaur Mina has a second effect, which is if an opponent tries to activate a trap card, you can negate the activation, and then the trap card is reset. That will come up in situations where, say, someone tries to use impermanence or something. Granted, it relies on the opponent being bad and not imperming, say, the horse of the Floral Knights.
I don't think I'd imperm the horse because it's just like a fusion spell. But
again, it depends on. There's a lot of surprise factor in this, right?
Yeah, and if you notice, all of our combo pieces, 2 out of 3 are light. You have to banish the shield bearer, so he's gone for a little bit. But the Noble Knight and Mina are 2 light monsters, and light monsters nowadays are kind of hard to find that you want to throw in the graveyard. Most of them are dark monsters. So it's good to have light monsters in a combo for Chaos Ruler that can fuel his resurrection and stuff like that.
So let's just count for a second, because we put a lot of emphasis on how many different ways there were to get to your 1-card combos. Like we said with Shiranui Solitaire, it was draw him or bust. We talked about how with Rocket Tracer, it was Rocket Tracer, quick launch, or bust. Reflector, it was Sentinel, Tenki, one for one, E-Telly, and him, or bust. Noble Knight, Shield Bearer, and Horse of the Floral Knights, either of them act as starters. So that's 6 on their own, right there. Noble Knight Shield Bearer is a Noble Knight card, and Noble Knights do have a search spell that is at 3 in the form of Chalice of the Heritage of the Chalice. So that puts us up to 9. It being a level 4 Light Warrior means that there's actually 10, because you have reinforcement of the army. So you can dedicate a solid 4th of your deck, if you wanted to this combo of guaranteeing that you get off your Chaos Ruler. Which is pretty good. It's especially good considering
none of the cards lock you into anything.
None of the cards lock you into anything. Say you're only playing a single Noble Knight Spearholder. You can actually search Shield Bearer after you've already done the combo once, and then fuse with the Shield Bearer and the horse, and still get the full combo again, assuming you still have Spearholder in the graveyard. So you only have to have 1 Garnet in the form of Spearholder in your deck. You can search this. There are 10 different ways to start it, which is super nice. And the only downside is that it requires your normal summon, which I would argue is not as big of a downside, because most of the 1-card starters we've talked about, the true 1-card starters that don't require, like, popping a card you control or what have you, require your normal summon anyway.
And you still have to normal summon Jiaotu.
Stop. Like, the only one that really doesn't is Quick Launch and Rocket Tracer. There's, I guess, 1-for-1 in E-Telly on Reflector, but that's 2 cards out of, however many you're playing. It's more often than not that you're going to end up burning your normal summon for it. So, burning your normal summon is unfortunate, but it's a much easier price to pay than other uh, than other restrictions could be.
And
And you go first.
And you can build a deck that you want to mill cards with this Chaos Ruler combo. You can mill your Shield Bearer, and again, they are light monsters. So you can play Legionnaires light mode, which is really good, or any number of chaos things that we'll get to later. But there are things that you can put in those 30 cards that you will willfully want to throw in the graveyard and not mind because you aren't locked into anything yet. The world's your oyster at that point. All you did was send 5 cards from your deck to the graveyard, and you can still do whatever you want.
Yep. It's certainly something. And depending on the decks that you build it in, like you said, you could play it in a Chaos variant, where you just want everything sent to the graveyard at once. You could play it in a deck that plays Eldritch. Again, we talked about how it might not be the most optimal variant, but everyone can do.
Let's take a look at decks you can play it in, or things you can play with it.
Let's do that.
So, to start off, the generic support that was released alongside it, the Synchrons, like Floral Synchron and Necrosynchron, along with Synchro Dilemma and Tuning. So Tuning can search out a Synchron, so it searches for Floral Synchron or Necrosynchron, mills a card that's fine. And these cards act as additional level 2 tuners because Centaur Mina can special summon from the hand or graveyard. So if you have a level 2 tuner in your hand that's kind of stuck there, you can summon it out and synchro with it and make your Chaos Ruler. And these cards kind of just extend you further past your Chaos Ruler play. Like Synchro Dilemma special summons a Synchron, or you special summon a brick from your hand that's just chilling there, not doing anything. So these will push you further if you want to play additional cards like these. They also are in the correct attributes for like a Chaos deck. Floral Synchron is light and Necrosynchron is dark. And Tuning is just a grab bag full of different tuners that you could get.
I would like to go out and disagree with Steampunk here for a little bit. I think while Necrosynchron and Floral Synchron are definitely targets, I would argue that the best target for Centaur Mina, if you're forced to summon a card out of your hand, would be something like Plague Spreader Zombie, where it's a card that you'd want to play in your deck already because you're milling 5 cards to the graveyard, and you really don't want to see him in your hand. You want to see him in the graveyard, and going from field to graveyard is a lot easier than going from hand to graveyard.
So Plague Spreader Zombie is in a league of his own. He's been at 3 forever now, and you want to throw him in the graveyard. You want to just get him there as soon as possible. So I could absolutely see you playing one or multiple Plague Spreaders, because drawing him isn't so bad when you realize that Centaur Mina can summon it from your hand. And you're just like, man, I don't need to summon this Noble Knight back from my graveyard and trigger its effect, and have another choke point in that way, where you could just summon Plague Spreader out your hand, make the Chaos Roar, get Plague Spreader in the graveyard, and additionally mill 5 cards. So it's basically drawing 2 cards with Chaos Ruler.
Yeah.
Another level 2 tuner you might want to play is the Time Reaver Emitter, the weird dark spirit that people search off of Diviner. It lets you Book of Moon 2 monsters, 1 on each field, to special summon it back. Now that's a really bad way to summon something back. If you're playing this, you might as well be maxing out on Plague Spreader before you even consider this card. But it is a dark fairy. There's a lot of niche cases where that might be, applicable, just not in a general sense. So it's not the best.
Yeah. It's certainly, I'm trying to think of the right word here, and maybe you can help me out here.
Situation reliant?
There you go. Very situational. And don't get me wrong, there are situations where shit like that can come up, but we're trying to be as not bad as possible here, and some could already argue that us playing Chaos Ruler Turbo is not as good as other decks. So let's cut back on the bad ideas for a second here.
Let me continue with my bad ideas.
Oh God.
So
Okay.
I know you don't like Necrosynchron, but I like him because making your big lady your Baroness, or the Harpy Synchro if you want to play it, Stardust Charge Warrior to draw a card. It triggers his effect that lets you summon a level 1 plant from your deck. Now, Glow Up Bulb is banned. Big sad. But there are definitely more options than Glow Up Bulb. So we have Glow Up Bulb's best friend, Spore. And Spore makes Hulk. Spore comes back if you play like a plant monster in your main deck or extra deck. And is just an overall good extender. You can get a super rare version of him. It'll look great. Copy Plant copies the level of a plant monster. So if you want to play a plant synchro or something to copy, like Splendid Rose is a level 6 who will trigger Necrosynchron's effect, and it'll be a target for a copy plant. So they'll both be level 6s, so you can make something like Ultimate Tzolk'in and make a Crystal Wing if you so choose. But that requires a whole bunch of other cards, a card to set to trigger Tzolk'in, and actually playing Splendid Rose.
Okay, but I'm actually all about that Ultimate Tzolk'in is the thing. He's my man. He's been my man.
And you could use him to summon, like, say, Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend and make Abyss. There's plenty of options in this deck. There's no restraint because you're not locked into anything. You can summon whatever you want off that Tzolk'in. That's a level 7 or 8 Dragon Synchro.
It's true.
So Copy Plant is definitely a cool option. You can use Necrosynchron to synchro with a Chaos Dragon, a Chaos Valkyria, after you've already thrown everything you want in the graveyard. Chaos Valkyria even better because all of your combo starters are light monsters, and Chaos Valkyria doesn't care what kind she banishes. The last one, and considerably probably the worst one, is Witch of the Blood Rose. This is a plant monster. It's also light, so that's a good type or attribute. And
100% is the worst one, by the way.
Yeah, and you can lone fire her off to search a Witch of the Blood Rose or Witch of the Black Rose and immediately normal summon it. So, Witch of the Black Rose is a level 4 tuner monster, and that's all that really matters. Witch of the Blood Rose also stacks a level 3 or lower plant onto your deck, so you're playing more bricks, quote unquote, because you won't be triggering Witch of the Black Rose's effect that often because you'll be synchroing with Necrosynchron. Now, I like this because Witch of the Black Rose is a level 4 tuner and can make Baroness off of like a level 6, off of the level 6 you just made with Necrosynchron, making that Splendid Rose. Or Stardust Charge Warrior, you draw a card, get summon, make Baroness. It's really cool. And of course, this comes in Ultimate Rare, so you can play Ultimate Rare.
I'm all about the shiny cardboard.
It is the worst one because I think for Blood Rose's effect, you have to search it and then normal summon it. You can add one to your hand, and if you do, place, and then immediately after this effect, resolve normal summon. So if you draw the one of Witch of the Black Rose, you can't normal summon it. And if you're playing multiples, that's just you just play the Tzolk'in thing.
Probably.
So with the cavalcade of bad level 1 plant tuners, and of course it summons any level 1 plant from the deck, but I don't want to talk about Necrofleur or any of that other stuff because we are synchro climbing. There's nothing we care about right now except climbing into big synchro monsters, and we do that with the best extenders. So what can we search off of our Noble Knight Shieldbearer if we already have our horse? There's plenty of other Wind Beast monsters that aren't Sapphire Pegasus that definitely can extend us further into our combos, starting with the worst one, White Steed of the Floral Knights. This is essentially a red warg for this deck. If you control a level 2 or lower monster, you can special summon it from your hand in defense mode. It also acts as a Necrogardna, but it destroys the monster that's being targeted for the attack. Or well,
It's not-
you can just target a card you control and destroy it and negate the attack. So it's a worse Necro Gardna.
Yeah, I don't think playing him is very good. It's already situational in itself that you need a level 2 or lower monster on the field. But you know what's not situational?
Dynatherium.
No, he can sit this one out. It's time to talk about red-haired Hasty Horse. That one is my man, and we have had many disagreements on this.
So red-haired Hasty Horse can be special summoned into a column with no cards in it, and if a card is placed into its column, he blows himself up. And he can attack directly, but we're not going to really be attacking directly with him, unless we're in time, of course.
Okay, but you're not going to put anything in a column with him because you don't want to blow up your own man. And his condition for special summoning himself is surprisingly easy. There's not a lot of decks that will flood an entire field in a single turn. Even decks like Dragon Link usually have a monster zone open at the end, especially if you have hand traps and we're able to prevent them from going completely off. And whenever it's your first turn, if you are going first, he's just free. There's never a chance that you'd not be able to summon him. And from there you can just climb into whatever you want. Link, Synchro, what have you.
So, one of the downsides I have, one of the gripes I have about this card is its level. Its level is 5, and that really doesn't match well with the Synchro suite that we want. That doesn't really matter if you're playing Link monsters.
I, as a big fan of Link monsters, I think that even if it's just helping you get to like and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, Anaconda to make Dragoon, it's still worthwhile. Imagine a situation where your Floral Night Horse gets negated. You still have, assuming you have a single
Shield Bearer.
A single Shield Bearer can get to either him or Dynatherium and make your Anaconda. And from there, you at least get a field of Dragoon Anaconda, which, depending on who you're playing against, is enough. It really depends on what you're playing against. Is it enough for Dragon Link? No, it's never enough for Dragon Link. Nothing is ever enough.
A good point to this card's level is if you were playing Necro Synchron, it does line up well with your level 1 plant tuners because it can make a level 6. So say that Splendid Rose that you didn't make, you made Charge Warrior instead. Or if you want to play like Coral Dragon and make Zulkin that way and draw a card, that'd be fantastic.
I love Coral Dragon.
And if you didn't go first, you could pop a card with it and make Zulkin. So this card does have a lot of potential. Making Zulkin, making Link monsters. One of the worst versions of this card is Dynatherium. Dynatherium was played way back in the day, and most recently in Adamantipator. You can special summon it from your hand, and your opponent can special summon a monster from their graveyard. It's a level 4 Galesaurus that you can search with Shield Bearer. It's not the greatest. It's only really good turn 1.
And even then, it's only good turn 1 in a situation where your opponent hasn't already hand-trapped you. It becomes less good the second that happens. And I know we'll have some people say, oh, but they're just getting an Ash Blossom back. What's the worst that could happen with a single Ash Blossom? It's like Ash Blossom's a tuner.
Yeah.
They will Hulk you. They will use that to Hulk you. Don't even think they won't.
So, a counterpoint to that is that if you're just gonna, like, if they hand trap you, you just make Dragoon and pop the Ash Blossom. So it kind of turns off Imperm, so it keeps your Anaconda safe if they Ash Blossom or Valor or whatever your horse. So that is a point to Dynatherium.
and
But you could use the horse instead.
I'll concede that. I'll concede that. It really just depends on the situation.
Yeah, and
that you find yourself in.
And what did we say about that stupid fairy? If it's situationally good, it's probably not the best. So one of the situationally good cards that I like for this position is Hop Your Squadron. Hop Your Squadron is a level 2 Wind Beast tuner, and during your opponent's turn, you can target a card you control, special summon the Hop Your Squadron, and immediately synchro summon. So this is good for using up, like if you have a Chaos Ruler just sitting there after he's been brought back, you can make another Baroness or what have you. So it's a neat little interruption. You can make plenty of different things like a Savage Dragon or whatever you want during your opponent's turn. But your levels do have to line up. And that's something I like about Dinotherium because it's a level 4. You can make a level 6 with like Necrosynchron or your Plague Spreader Zombie and make Coral Dragon, go up into that Sulkin or something like that. Go up into your level 8 even, your Chaos Ruler. So I really like Hop Your Squadron. It's a good gotcha card because no one ever really expects it or knows what it does. So that's one of my picks to search off of Shield Bearer. Also,
and I think I would agree with you on Hop Your Squadron. It's not perfect, but it can create a lot of gotcha moments. And in a situation that we're talking about, unless this becomes a super well-known meta strategy, which it might, summoning Chaos Ruler is strong. He's a very, very good card. So if it takes off and becomes a meta thing in however long it takes for us to get it in the good old TCG, any sort of unknown like Hop Your Squadron will act as a surprise factor and could give you the edge at any point.
Additionally, depending on when your opponent stops your combo, if they stop it at the Centaur Mina part and you haven't used Shield Bearer to search, or if you hard drew Hop Your Squadron, you can just make Chaos Ruler on your opponent's turn and it does the same thing and just acts as a 3k wall. If your opponent tries to OTK through it, that's just the breaks. But milling 5 cards during your opponent's turn and having access, it gives your opponent a lot of pressure because then they don't know like how you're going to be able to break their board or whatever because you have all this fuel in your graveyard. And again, making Baroness during your opponent's turn is pretty cool too. Not going to lie. So your favorite strategy to mix with all these cards that we've talked about, these Hasty Horses and Necrosynchrons and Plague Spreader Zombies, you've been trying out Nemesis.
That's more just me being bad. It could work, but it's more me being bad than anything. Look, well, I'll run through all the synergies, right? So you have Shield Bearer, which banishes itself to start your combo. That immediately makes any of your small nemesis live. And if it's a nemesis flag, then it goes from being one nemesis to multiple nemesis. And then you just are able to use them to link climb very effectively. So you would do your full combo, get your Chaos Ruler, send a bunch of things to the graveyard, and then from there, be able to then return your Shield Bearer, summon a Nemesis, and just keep going. Important to note, both Ishados and Protoss, the Arc Nemesis, or the Nemesis big boss monsters, are super underrated, and I will die on this hill. The ability to prevent your opponent from summoning certain a declared attribute or a declared type is absurd in really any meta, but in this meta especially. Protoss is a dark, so you can call dark with him on the field. He won't die because of his effect. And then, say you're playing against, like, Dragon Link, they can't summon darks. they're screwed. Um, Same for Ishatos can call Dragon and accomplish a similar enough result. Protoss can call Light and hurt Eldritch quite a bit.
A thing to note about Nemesis Flag is that it's level 2. So if you don't have that Noble Knight in your hand and you have Centaur Mina, you can still special summon Nemesis Flag and search for
It's
a
true,
Nemesis.
and then you can go into your link combos that you're really probably wanting to do, because Nemesis don't have any other game plans other than link and summon the arch Nemesis. And since there's no shortage of bad link monsters, it doesn't really matter too much. But it's just something worth mentioning.
And there are plenty of additional synergies with them, like, you know, the water Nemesis being able to recycle one from your graveyard to your hand if you throw one to the graveyard with Chaos Ruler. There's plenty of stuff in the Nemesis deck that you want to throw to your graveyard with Chaos Ruler, so it's pretty much, you know, an auto include. You're making Chaos Ruler in the Nemesis deck, so why not just make it that much easier?
Yeah. It's also worth mentioning that if you're in a deck like this that's playing a whole bunch of link monsters and link climbing a whole lot, the one card level 8 play isn't restricted to Chaos Ruler. You can also play cards like Savage Dragon is incredibly popular. Tenny Berserker was popular for a little bit. Cards like that. Level 8s are... Level 8 synchros are never bad. Especially currently when we have things like Savage Dragon and Chaos Ruler running around. You have options. And having options and being able to flex into different options is never a bad thing.
Especially with the ability to climb up so high on the synchro ladder with a deck like this. Like, level 8 synchros are really good. Scarlet Red Dragon gives you, or Scarlet Red Dragon being a dark dragon and his evolution, quote unquote evolution line, requiring a dark dragon synchro, you know, Chaos Ruler or Borreload or whatever you want fits neatly into that role, and this just makes it so much easier to access. So, speaking of Red Dragon, one of the easiest ways we've been making level 8 synchros, but Dark Dragon restricted, is Resonators. Resonators have a ton of ways to search them. 2 good spell cards that searches materials for them and them themselves. So we talked about the Floral Horse being a Red Warg. Now, Red Warg is a whole lot worse than the Floral Horse because you have to normal summon a Resonator monster. But the recent Resonator support has been really good, so we might be able to throw out Red Warg and just play the Resonators. Like Crimson Resonator gets you 2 guys.
He also locks you, though, and so I'm not sure.
He locks you into Dark Dragons. Now, if you want to go that route to make like Abyss and Bane, or, you know, the Tyrant Red Dragon Archfiend or whatever, this is definitely a good route. You just have to. Is it the rest of the turn?
I don't believe it is, and I think that's the reason why I don't like it. I could be wrong.
The turn you activate this effect. So you do. So getting the additional 2 monsters would require you to not go into the Centaur Mina combo, which isn't the worst thing, but it's probably not the thing you want to be doing. So Crimson Resonator might not be an optimal pick, but the other 2 definitely are. The Synchron Resonator being, if you control a level 8 or higher synchro monster, you can special summon it from your hand, just, you know, extends you further. Same with Red Nova and that was Creation Resonator. Synchron Resonator special summons itself if you have a synchro monster on the field. And Red Nova, I think, special summons if you have a Dragon Synchro. So both Red Nova and Synchron Resonator put you into range to make Abyss, and that is a negate. We do want things like that. and Abyss is a good card. Dragon Link, play it. So,
everyone back in the days of my boy Guard Dragon
Agripane.
Agripane paid it. Everyone did that.
The problem with Red Nova is that it's a fire. It is a fairy, so if you're playing that stupid fairy in like a fairy synergy, you could definitely do that. But Red Nova being a secret rare versus Synchron Resonator being a common might make your deck look better, but Synchron Resonator is the optimal choice here because it is a dark. And it just throws another dark monster in your graveyard for whatever you want to do. Throw whatever monsters you want into the graveyard. So Crimson Resonator, unless you're playing Red Rising Dragon and a line with that, in addition to your Centaur Mina line, isn't the best.
No, it's not. But
so level 1 non-tuners, Brotar is a card we want in the graveyard. It's a dragon and it searches a ton of things. Now playing additionally with Brotar, we can play Arriving Miracle and the new Majestic Dragon. And Arriving Miracle, when a Synchro Monster summon, you draw a card, or you can put a level 1 tuner from your hand on top of your deck. And that gives you access to things like Stardust Synchro monsters, which will trigger Necro Synchron because Stardust is a wind. So you can go into Majestic Dragon that much more easier. Special summoning Spore or Copy Plant or Witch of the Blood Rose, and then getting a level 1 non-tuner to make your Majestic Dragon. Or Shooting Star Dragon, you can make Formula with those two and draw a card and then make Shooting Star Dragon. So Arriving Miracle and the Majestic Dragon are definitely things to look into, just because of their level and their attribute, because they line up so well with the Necrosynchron plays. Past that, we talked about Eldritch already. Milling 5 Eldritch things might not be the best, might not be the worst, but it does get Eldritch in the graveyard or your hand, where one of the two places you want him to be. Eldritch is great for removal. Curse Eldland is a really good search card. Gives you free fodder for whatever you want.
The only thing I have to add is that when we were prepping for this episode, we ran through a lot of different things that we wanted to do, we wanted to talk about, and I think we actually let something slip under our nose that we completely shouldn't have let slip under our nose.
What's that?
Why haven't we talked about Shadows in summoning this? As an honest question.
So
Shadows' only other normal summon that they like playing is the man, the myth, the legend, Invoker Alistair.
So the issue I have with Shaddolls and making Chaos Ruler is that Shaddol like to play Nadir Servant and things like that. And Chaos Ruler kind of doesn't line up well with those cards.
Sure it does. You just play Nadir Servant after you've done all that.
Well, not exactly. You want to be able to throw your Shaddolls in the graveyard, sure, but you're not playing a exuberant amount of them. You want to be able to keep your Shaddol fusions alive and stuff like that. You do want to get Schism, and milling Schism is fine because you can add it back with App Cologne. But playing Centaur Mina and playing these Floral Knights and Noble Knights don't really benefit the Shaddolls aside from triggering them, which you're going to be trying to do anyway.
Look, man, we played way back when Curry Bandit and Shaddolls. I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to hear this nonsense. You don't want to trigger Shaddolls.
Well, I'm not saying we don't want to trigger Shaddolls. I'm saying we don't play an exuberant number like we did.
Yeah, I understand that.
And
I'm gonna take this and test it more, but you're making sense. And I hate it when you do that. But,
the best part is going second and being able to throw one of the Noble Knights in your graveyard because it is a light for a construct. Not being able to play bad light monsters for construct, like sending one of your Ecclesias or a Trick Clown to the graveyard for construct is definitely very good. And sending Trick Clown off Chaos Ruler is really good as well.
Well, let's be real here. We were always sending damage juggler.
Damage juggler.
We were always sending damage juggler.
And those could be used for like cross shape combos and stuff like that, but I think Shadal has moved past those things in the current metagame, so that's why it's not too optimal.
I think you're probably right.
Now, can you build a deck that just sends Squamata, Beast, Wendy, and Falco to the graveyard, just throws them out with a Chaos Roar? Sure, that sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like a lot of card advantage. But the problem with that is you're playing multiple Shadals and you don't want to draw them. Shadals are kind of bricks, honestly.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. They are the brickiest boys in the lot, unless you have a fusion spell. But that, I mean, that's asking a lot at times. So that's fair. And a big problem with this is that we're talking a whole bunch of theory, and we have basically been talking a whole bunch of theory for the last hour. And so we originally intended on this being about an hour. Fun fact for all you guys. But we also intended on playing some games and showing like the capabilities of that. So we might have to reevaluate some plans here.
Well, there's only one more thing I need to mention before we can get to gameplay.
All right, let's hear it.
You were talking about Shadals, and I mentioned how we don't want to draw them. What are some other cards that you can think of that we don't want to draw, but we want to send so badly off Chaos Ruler? If your answer was Wolf the Lightsworn Beast, you're absolutely correct. So, Wolf and Felice are both awful, but
I always draw Wolf.
That
is my curse.
They are always so good when you mill them. They are the most feel-good moment. They're one of the most feel-good moments. Milling Wolf or Felice, but you don't want to draw them. That's kind of how I feel like the Shadals are. Like, I'm going to max out on Wolf because I want to throw it in the graveyard. Like, I'd want to max out on Squamata or Beast or Wendy to throw it in the graveyard. But then I'm going to draw it, and then I'm just going to look at it and be like, why couldn't you be anything else? You could play Recharge and Charge, and then you're just playing like a Lightsworn pile. And I think there are easier ways to make Chaos Ruler in that than just by the deck that you're playing, because you can like randomly mill Wolf and summon Raiden and make a Chaos Ruler that way. I also don't think Lightsworn cares about its extra deck as much, so it can afford to play like maybe the Rocket Tracer stuff. I don't know. It could play the Floral Knights, but it's just kind of playing more spell cards than you might want to play. So I don't know. That's up for debate. All I know is Wolf and Felice are awful cards that you never really want to mill off Chaos Ruler because it gives you just as much likely chance to draw them.
I don't like Wolf. I don't like Felice or Felice or however you say it. I have the uncanny ability to always see multiples in my opening hand without fail. Every time, all of the time. If I'm running 3, I always see it. If I'm running 1, I always see it. I just always see it. I get it's free 99. I don't care. Please don't make me play that card. Either of them. I don't want it.
All right, so to showcase our strategy, I've built this miraculous piece of deck.
Sure, let's call it that.
So we just want to throw things in the graveyard. I am playing the Dragoon package in case I get hand trapped. I'm playing plenty of extenders. Nothing to extend if they get rid of my hand trap my Floral horse, but we're not going to worry about that. I do play Instant Fusion and Retort Fusion for this plant lady because you can banish her with Spore and special summon back Spore, make Halka Fibrax or Verte Anaconda. I'm playing the Peacock because he's broken, a level 2 tuner that you can Retort Fusion or Instant Fusion for. I
don't know if I would say he's broken, but he's definitely very good.
He's real good. Playing 2 Mina because I believe all you need is 2. If you have to make a third one, you're probably not winning that game. One combo I like to have in my build exclusively is King Calamity, summoning him on your opponent's turn with random Chaos Ruler that you have that you brought back, Halka 5-Rax into Formula, and one of the myriad of level 2 tuners that I play. Makes it super easy to make King Calamity. Very unfair card. Playing one Baroness.
Stopping your opponent from being able to do anything is definitely in the vein of, if you can play it, you kind of have to, as unfortunate as it is.
And this deck does pump out Baroness and a King Calamity setup pretty easy. So if they have one thing to stop you, they need to have two things to stop you.
Yeah. Baroness is probably worth talking about all on its own, but not today. It's perhaps the best level 10 synchro we have to date. It's super generic. It's a negate all on its own. I would argue it's a fair negate because it's only once while it's on the turn. It all once while it's face.
Once while it's on the turn. Okay.
Yes. Look, man, I may have been drinking.
Okay.
Train of thought is stalled at the station.
So we also have Abyss to combo with with my Necro Synchron to summon Spore, because Abyss can be made with your Chaos Ruler. And the Wind Synchros I play to trigger that Necro Synchron are the Harpy Synchro, because it's just a compulse if your opponent activates a spell or trap card. And Stardust Charge Warrior, because drawing cards is good. We do play the one of Omega just because hand control is good. Being able to throw things into your graveyard for your Chaos Monsters is even better. Verte and Halka 5-Rax are kind of self-explanatory for me to get off the Halk. Now, I am playing one monster we didn't talk about, Satellite Synchron. This card combos well with Mina, because Mina summons back that Noble Knight, and Satellite Synchron can be triggered as Chainlink 1 or 2 with that Noble Knight to summon itself, so it's an additional level 2 extender. I like it. You can search it off tuning. It's pretty good in my opinion. We'll see how it does.
It's also a dark, which is never a bad thing.
Oh no, never a bad thing for dark monsters. I am playing 3 Ash Blossoms as my chosen hand trap. I don't know if I should play Imperm or Nibiru. Nibiru we have in the sideboard, same with Gamma. I have Lightning Storms in the sideboard, Forbidden Droplets, Feather Duster, and Red Reboot. We have 1 Shield Bearer and 3 Shield Bearers, 1 Spear Holder, 3 of the Horse, 3 Heritage, 1 Rhoda. So we just have a myriad of way of accessing it. And then we also have Chaos Space to access our extenders like Chaos Creator or Levianeer or our baby Chaos Dragons. Malicious is absolutely busted in this deck if you can throw it in the graveyard. I was playing Synchro Dilemma to summon it out of my hand, which is really fun. But let's just hope we don't draw it.
You don't have to worry about seeing it if you don't draw it.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into...
If only I had that power with wolves.
All right. Now let's get into some games. So we have our first match. Hopefully we can make some Chaos Ruler and mill all the cards. This is not Chaos Ruler, but...
It's not, but you opened up a decent enough hand to where I think you could still make something work.
Especially with my opponent's play. Alright, Chaos Space. We're going to have to talk about this. Alright, so it's fire off the Chaos Space. Send the free draw. Oh no, we're going to get Ash Blossomed.
And if you get Ash Blossom, that's whenever you're actually going to be sad.
That's actually past turn. Oh no. Okay, well.
Local man didn't think he was going to get hand trapped more at 11. I mean, it could be worse.
He could have actually made a play and had Ash Blossom.
I was going to say, he could have actually done something with his turn. At this point, the epic battle could... Wait, he passed again?
Yeah, so we're going to play the Retort Fusion, and we're going to summon the Plant Lady.
Oh man, this is I made Chaos Ruler the hard way.
Yeah, and
by the hard way I mean the not one card combo that we spent how long talking about?
A long time. But I made this fusion monster a tuner. Does that count for anything?
What's its name again?
Rose Spectre of
Spectre-
Dun.
That's my favorite tuner.
That is my favorite tuner.
That's my favorite tuner monster right there.
Use this Chaos Ruler's effect. Milled the Red Eyes Fusion, so that's really sad. So we milled Spore.
And this is why when we were talking about in private about decks to play this, and we talked about it a little bit in the podcast proper. I don't think the synchro route is the best route for this. I think I think synchro monsters are fun and cool, but I also think if you're going to do anything, you really kind of want Plague Spreader, and that's about it. Because Plague Spreader is always a good man. You can never go wrong with a free summon himself without really needing anything from him.
Okay. So I think we have a good play here.
No, he's gonna Ash Blossom you again.
So we discard for a Synchron.
Oh my god, he didn't Ash Blossom you.
I know, right?
Do you want to Ash Blossom yourself?
I don't have any banished monsters.
No, but you will once you summon Chaos Ruler? Question mark.
Chaos Creator.
Chaos Creator.
But
yeah.
we will have 2, and he has to target 3.
Okay, so this is what you do. You clearly summon Satellite Synchron and Synchro into Baroness.
I already normal summoned. So I guess we'll just search Chaos Creator for a follow-up.
Who the hell did you normal?
I normal summoned the Noble Knight to synchro with the Plant Lady.
Man, it's still that turn.
Yeah, it's still that turn. Because he ghost spelled my Spore effect.
That's big, unfortunate.
I know, I was going to make like Hulk with it, and then I could definitely make Calamity and, make my opponent pass turn again, even though that's what he's been doing.
I mean, he is trembling in his boots. He can't, oh no.
Oh no, not the Dragon Maid.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen besides him summoning House and or Big House? I don't know her name. That's the one. Besides that very specific thing, which the deck basically does and nothing else, what's the worst that could happen?
Well, they're not summoning Chaos Ruler.
So they're doing it wrong.
I think we Ash Blossom this so we
Absolutely.
don't get hit with either the Fusion Spell or Tidying.
That's absolutely the right call there. Though I will say, I kind of hope they destroy the Chaos Ruler so you can banish some things, load up your Banish Zone, and then do Chaos Creator things.
Well, he's absolutely going to bounce my Chaos Ruler.
Well, that's just unfortunate.
That's the Nurse one. That one gives them attack points? No, especially
No.
on a level 4 Dragon Maid. Does he know it doesn't trigger again?
Probably not. He's a Dragon Maid player.
Oh, well, he's gonna bounce that back to get back that one.
Sorry to all of our Dragon Maid players out there. Except I'm not sorry.
Except I'm not sorry.
Play a better deck, please. Says the man currently watching his friend lose to said Dragon Maid. Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I don't know. With
so
Shoal, Dragon Maids aren't nearly as bad as they once were. I will give them that.
So there's no hand traps this time. We know every card. We have perfect information.
But is that enough?
I don't know because I don't know what the kitchen one does. What does this one do?
2000.
Okay.
You can't manage that. It's too powerful. 2000 attack is too many. You only have 17 life points left.
And
You're screwed, man.
This one special summons one. Yeah, that's tidying. Okay. Okay, so we have to deal with spheres, tidying. Okay.
You're just screwed, man. I'm sorry. I don't know how to tell you, but you're kind of just SOL.
Yeah.
how can you even hope to combat spheres?
Spheres.
Are you not gonna? Spheres is only during the main phase, correct?
Yeah, we were definitely gonna.
Threaten I would threaten battle.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, spheres is any time, but
Yeah.
we were always attacking spheres.
Gotta make them sweat a little bit. Yeah, there goes your
Wyberster.
Wyberster. Goodbye.
Or he's gonna bounce his guard dragon.
That would be the good play.
No.
But fun fact, he didn't make it.
So
I'm not sure how fun that fact is, but
so he's gonna special summon Chamber. No, Nurse, and Nurse gets back. Special summons. Okay.
this is where something like Goliath would be good.
Yeah.
So we're still working with perfect information here.
Yeah. So we can Chaos Creator, and then we can go full combo with Chaos Creator.
Yeah, you just have to make sure to clear out what he's got on the field. Because the alternative is he's going to summon, what's it call it, on you. Shoal. House.
Okay.
However you say it. Whatever. Oh, you don't have any lights in your graveyard? No, you do. You don't have any darks in the graveyard.
Okay.
Well, I think that's just that you lose there, friend. Congratulations on the L. Big.
Well.
Oh, wait. Draw of Destiny.
Let's draw a Noble Knight card.
That is
the worst card you want to draw. All right, that's game one. No.
I warned you. I warned you.
So,
all right.
Dragon Maids with hand traps. Not really too much we can. Well, we can throw in Gamma.
You could throw in Gamma. You can get out Chaos Betrayer because it's a bad card. And this is a hill I will die on.
Okay, so we can drop. What do we drop? We drop Flare Synchron.
Drop a Fleur, drop a Chaos Creator, because we can search Chaos Creator, so I mean, like, shrug.
One more card. I guess we can drop Spore. I don't want to keep Spore. I'll drop a Tuning.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Alright, so we go
Oh,
first.
look at that. Oh,
Okay.
alright, we did the thing.
Let's see if we can gotcha.
Bait that Ash Blossom.
Oh, he definitely has Ash Blossom. Come on, you know you want to.
Inside this man right now, he is absolutely confused. He's like, what am I playing against? This man summoned Chaos Ruler on me last game. Is this Chaos Noble Knights?
It is.
Man is shaking in his boots. He doesn't understand. He can't possibly understand. Thank you, player, for being a good sport. Also
no hand traps.
wait, you can ghost spell?
Yeah, it's from Graveyard.
Well, shit. I didn't know that. This is my Shield Bearer deck.
Yeah. Now we can make 2 synchros.
Well, first summon your horse.
Yeah, we were always summoning the
Because if they Ash Blossom the search, right, you still
Well, they can't Ash Blossom the search. They didn't Ash Blossom Gamma.
Oh, you're right. Well, this is why you're the one that's playing, and I'm the one that's commentating and saying nothing helpful.
So, in this instance, we can summon Plague Spreader from our hand. But I don't think we want to.
I think I would agree with that statement.
Just treat himself as a tuner. I think I want to make Chaos Ruler.
With Psyframe Driver?
Yeah, with these two first.
I was going to say, Driver's my favorite tuner.
Okay. Alright, Chaos Ruler. 2, 4, and 5.
Oh, that's That's what you want to see. Holy cow.
Okay, so
I'm partial to say let the Necrosynchron go to the graveyard because it's the only dark you have, but you don't really have any chaos elements that you'd want to see.
yeah, but we can put Gamma in our hand because we have Driver in the graveyard.
It's true. Um,
So we can't make like
you have the full hot red combo, correct?
yeah. I have King Calamity combo.
That's always that's always fun.
Okay.
Um,
But so we can instant fusion for the level 2. We can instant fusion for the level 2. We can make Baroness, bring back Chaos Ruler, and still have the hot red combo.
King Calamity.
Yeah, hot red Dragon
Yeah.
King Calamity. So this
Is
gives
that-
us protection.
I do like insulation.
And it's a dark. So
Ugh, Alvain, why are you so good?
summon back King Calamity. Banishing Gamma and Alvain.
The Edgelord Peacock. Beware him and his edgelordiness.
Then we make Hulk. And this also protects us from Nibiru if he wants to nib us. I mean, he probably would have already, but, you know.
More than likely. Hello, Satellite Synchron. How are you doing?
Alright. And I think we will pass it there. Just tap this always chain. We won't activate Baroness's standby phase effect because that's a trap.
It always is a trap. Don't do it. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not a perfect idea. Like, I guess in theory, you can, after a Baroness is spent, you can tag it back out to grab your Mina, and then use Mina to go into a level... I'm sorry, did you just get Kaiju'd? This man is so generous. He gave you a level 6 for...
A level 8, but I can't.
Oh, you can't, because King Calamity needs a synchro, doesn't it?
He's a Dark Dragon Synchro.
Ah, big sad.
So we'll activate Formula Synchron. We won't
not.
chain its effect.
Remember,
And I draw a card, so now I activate it as effective Chainlink 1 because King Calamity
Calamity.
can miss timing.
it can, it's true.
1, 2, 3. King Calamity. We will activate King Calamity's effect. And we will turn off Auto Chain. Alright! We made the boy.
And then he's basically can't do anything this turn. In the past, King Calamity was bugged, but so I'm not sure if it's still that way or not.
If it isn't, I'm gonna be really sad. And I bet my opponent's really sad about not kaijuing the King Calamity. So look, we drew our horse again. So this
Hey
is,
man, I'm all about drawing the horse.
so we're just gonna normal summon this horse and activate its effect. I'm gonna search our last shield bearer.
And in situations like this, why I unironically push for things like red-haired hasty horse, because it's actually a card that you could grab right now, and it would actually do things.
So we're gonna get. Well, who do we want back? I guess it doesn't matter, right?
You want? Don't you play a? Oh, you have a spore in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would say Necrosynchron, but it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. So we just make Omega from this position and just win. Cause that's 28, 22.
Yeah, that's enough for game if you make Omega.
And it's less than 5 summons, so we're gonna battle phase.
Can't be nibbed. No Nibiru for you.
So you
Oh
can.
no! Kill him with his own Gamma Seal. Come on.
No, we attacking it with the MVP.
Can't he attack multiple times?
No.
Discard destroys... Oh, he's a flame wingman.
Yeah.
That's a lot less cool than I thought he was.
All right. So game 3, we're gonna put in our Nibiru's. I guess
I don't know enough about
Dragon Maid.
Dragon Maid to know if they actually do summon 3 times or not.
I mean, their base play is to go into Sphere's Pass, so that's at least 3. I'm going to drop Foolish. There's nothing we really want to Foolish aside from... let's see, we can drop... If he's playing, I'll drop a Heritage.
I was going to say, you still have 9 ways to get to the combo. It's...
Drop one more tuning for a reboot. I think we should be good. I want to drop the baby dragons for like more interaction, but the baby dragons are pretty good. You know what? Well, let's drop the baby chaos dragons.
If you drop the baby chaos dragons, though, then chaos space becomes a lot worse is the problem.
Well, we search out Chaos Creator or Levian here.
I guess that's fair.
Put in 2 droplets. All right. Oh, he surrendered. The absolute weight of King Calamity was too much for this man to bear. We got match 2. Hopefully we can actually play this one out. We're going first. Will we draw our horse? We drew the horse and the shield man and Rhoda. So just look at all this. So we'll bait out any ash blossoms he might have with Rhoda. Does not seem like he has any. So we will normal summon our horse.
There's still the chance that he has the Ghost Bell, knowing that he plays that.
Well, this isn't the same guy.
Oh, you... Yeah, I keep forgetting that he left prematurely in that last one, and it's really messing with me.
Yeah. And Mina doesn't target. That's another good thing to point out, because DD Crow doesn't really... It does a lot if we don't have an extender in our hand, but she doesn't target, so like...
It's just a nice extra layer of nuance. In the opening play, it might matter, but as the game goes on, it matters less and less.
All right, Chaos Ruler, give me some good cards. All spell cards, okay.
I love playing Magical Merchant, but in reverse.
Okay, so discard our Shield Bearer for the Chaos Space. We will search out a Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. We can special summon our Collapse Serpent. We'll banish Mina. Why not?
Collapse Serpent.
And we can activate Chaos Space to put the Mina back to draw a card. But I don't think we really want to do that. So we can make Verte here. We can trigger Wyburster. So you should probably use Chaos Space to put Mina back. I want to put Collapse Serpent back, but that really doesn't do anything for us. We need a tuner, but we can't really get to a tuner. Yes, we can. Okay. So we Chaos Space this back. Let's draw a tuner. That is a tuner. So can we make Calamities from this position? No, we can't because it's a fire tuner. Yeah, so we can summon Wyburster and not really do anything. We can summon... So I think the play is just to summon Dragoon here.
There's probably a better play, but I'm not incredibly familiar with your deck list. So you're probably right.
Alright, so we will pass turn. And I mean, this is 2 negates and a follow-up, so I'm pretty happy with this. Chaos Ruler is in the graveyard.
Oh! Is this, it's either someone's playing Bird Up, or someone's playing the new Lyralisk support.
So do I just stop this?
I would let, what's that do? Summons one from hand?
Yeah.
I would let it go, based entirely off of the fact that we don't know what they're playing. It could be Bird Up, it could be Lyralisk. If it's Lyralisk, you probably want to negate something else, right?
That adds one. I think we want to negate the blue one.
Yeah. They could just they could just be playing. That just summons two from their hand, right?
Yeah.
Again, I don't think it's worth negating.
Well, the problem is they could be playing Hope Dragon.
They could be playing Hope Dragon. Yeah, okay. So it does look like they're just playing pure Lyrilisk at this point.
So they're gonna make one Resinal Starling, we negate it, and then we're fine.
Probably.
Because I think their big Xyz monster, unless they're playing Future Dragon, just bounces a thing, and I think it targets, so Dragoon is pretty safe there. What is that?
Oh, that's one of the new cards that was announced.
That seems... So it looks like they're going to make a Zeus.
That is a problem.
So
what is Bird Sanctuary?
Target 2 wing beasts monsters you control. Attach one of them and all materials.
Oh, that's fine. I think he's trying to bait the
Dragoon.
because he's absolutely trying to bait the Dragoon. And the problem is that he is going to probably get the what's it call it out?
What is going on?
Look, man, you're the bird up player.
Okay, so we definitely Dragoon this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll discard Wyberster.
Goodbye. Have a wonderful time. And so, unfortunately, whenever they make their fucking what's it call it? Oh. Did you know that guy has text on it? I didn't know that guy has text on it.
So we ash this? Yeah, why not? Okay, it's just gonna throw that one under that one. Wait, doesn't one of them lock you into Wing Beast or something?
The yellow one that summons from the great, that one.
Okay.
That one right there.
So he can't Zeus. So he's just gonna try and punch over Dragoon? Oh, is he just gonna go for game? You can attack for 1900 how many times? 19 times 5.
That's game. That's hilarious. That's really funny.
Okay.
That's so funny.
Game 2, I guess we're fine just keeping... I guess Nibiru could come in.
Oh yeah, you absolutely... from the looks of things, you absolutely want that Nibiru. Are you kidding me?
Tuning. We'll drop... Okay. And we'll put in some droplets. I don't think he's on any hand traps.
So, previously in the podcast, we discussed how surprise factor functions is a really solid thing, and your opponent not knowing exactly what you're playing will win you games. I think that past game was a perfect example, albeit against us, where we kind of assumed they were playing Bird Up because Bird Up, we assumed the worst case scenario.
Barrier Statue is a worst case scenario.
Which is part of Bird Up. And so we were holding close our negates when we should have probably done it sooner, like Steampunk was suggesting. But we didn't know that until it was a little bit too late, and by the time it was too late, it was not much to be done. Which it is what it is.
Because we have Chaos Ruler again, and we're gonna melt all the things.
You mean 5 spell cards?
Yeah.
Okay, 3 spell cards. One of which does something in the graveyard, so... Is this the... Okay, this is a...
So we get Collapse Serpent.
Oh, we were always getting Collapse Serpent.
So a big issue I have is that the Noble Knight's effect is once per turn, so you can't special summon it again and make something else a tuner.
Yeah, but that's just the nature of card design at this point, is that most things are once per turn. I think the last card... Okay, I can't say the last card printed that wasn't once per turn, because Baroness is a card that isn't a hard once per turn. But more often than not, you're gonna see them as hard once per turns. And that's just what it is. Do you not have any darks in your graveyard?
No.
Did you shuffle away the Collapse Serpent?
Yeah, to draw a card.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes.
Okay.
Hey, you have darks in the graveyard now.
Yep. Alright, so... Just don't play Droplets. Jack in the hand.
Oh, that's my favorite, man. It's called Give Us Discard Fodder for Dragoon.
Do we want to discard the monster they give us for Dragoon, though? Or we take...
It depends on what we take.
So we get the blue one, right?
Or
the yellow... One of these...
I think we
take this one.
Look, man, you're the one who plays Bird Up. You think I understand what these fucking bird trap bait do?
Yep.
They had one in their hand to begin with.
I'm just gonna
So see, now you can discard it because you'd be negating the same one anyway, so it doesn't matter if they have it or not, right?
Yeah.
Because they have 2 now. Oh no!
Hello?
This man's just playing the he wants
This is a level 1 turbo. He's just trying to attack for 19 a billion times.
No. He's clearly playing that man as a 1-card Hulk engine. Clearly, which I mean it does function as a 1-card Hulk. That's neither here nor there. Nah, he just made me a liar. I can't believe he would do that. he made a stupid Lyralusic card, or however you say it.
Lyrilusk. But
Lyrilusk.
he attached Lamia, so now he can use Lamia's effect again.
You're right. For all those dark contracts he plays.
Yeah.
I'm sure he plays a lot of them.
So many.
You know, because I mean, I clearly play all the DDDs in my Lyralusic deck.
So he has the yellow one that special summons from the graveyard. We don't know if he has a spell card or not.
Yep.
So
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm rooting against you right now. I want to see you get attacked directly for 19 5 times again. I absolutely want to see that happen. And then we'll do the next week's episode on
oh my gosh.
Lyrilusk.
Oh my gosh. Well,
and we'll just have that be how we choose our episodes. Whatever beats us in the previous one.
Okay, so it is 800 now. Does that thing search the spell card? No.
No, there's a they have main
the
deck
other
card.
one, yeah.
Yeah, they have a main deck card
So
that does that.
this is gonna. Oh no. Oh no, it's 17. Oh my god.
Here it comes.
17
4 in a row.
Does that win? 17 times 4? No, I don't think that does win.
Not yet.
Not yet. Can these things attack directly?
No, he can make what's it call it though. Remember, he can make.
He cannot. He
juice.
used the yellow one.
Oh, okay. You're pretty low though. And you do
Oh,
have.
but I did pay 2,000. Can it kill me?
Oh, it can.
No.
If you pay 2,000, you're dead.
Yeah, because I used Verte. Oh my gosh. All right, well, that was me not milling a tuner and absolutely getting bodied by Lyroisk.
Okay, but I think we did a fine enough job showing off the combo.
Yeah, I mean,
we didn't do a good job showing any decks that you want to play the combo in because I still don't think his deck is
optimal.
optimal.
For sure.